Well, welcome back again, everyone, and I guess I should welcome myself back. Back from a nice vacation, cruise to the Caribbean. Had a great time, and actually, if you check my blog, there's plenty of cigar-related activities that I participated in, of course. So, if you'll do a search on the blog for the Carnival Freedom Cruise in September, you'll get an idea of a couple of things we did. Now today we're back to reviews, and I'm reviewing a brand that I've reviewed before, but not in the Maduro wrapper, the Aging Room. This is the Aging Room Maduro, and this is the Rondo 5x50. It uses a Nicaraguan Maduro wrapper, Dominican binder, and Dominican filler. Now this is a very nicely made cigar. A very, very dark brown. It is, as you can see, it's not jet black. It's just a nice looking Maduro. And Rafael Nodal, I reviewed this cigar in the Aging Room M356 back in March, which is the Mezzo, the 6x54. And at that time, it scored a 94. Very good cigar. So let's see what the Maduro version is like. The Aging Room Maduro Rondo 5x50. All right, let's get started. I took off so little. There's a little bit of firmness to the draw, but I'm going to let it go because I like to take the absolute minimum. Well, of course, we've got some coffee notes. There's a little mild sweetness of cedar, very mild, earthiness, and there is just a touch of cream on the cedar. There's a little cream flavor on the very lightly sweet cedar. The pepper is around 7-ish. It's decent, very good. The finish is at this point is rather short. It's sort of earthy. There may be a sprinkling of cream, but it's quite an earthy finish. So that's how we're starting. I'm about a 1/4 inch in. Taken me this long to nail down the flavors, other than the obvious coffee, but we'll see where it goes from here. Be right back. Well, I'm about a 1/2 inch in. As you can see, it's burning nicely. It's a very tight ash, very tight. The flavors are pretty much consistent. You've got a lot of coffee notes, quite a lot of earthy notes. There is just a hint of sweetness to a very light cedar. And the cream notes are not so much there anymore. I'm starting to get hints of cocoa. I feel like it'll be there in the next 5 minutes or so, but it's not quite there yet, but there are hints. The finish now is more of a cream with a touch of earthiness. There's some nice lingering pepper. I would call the pepper, as a matter of fact, black pepper. Finish is somewhat short. Doesn't last a long time. It's nice, but it just doesn't last a long time. So that's where we are at the half-inch point. I'm anticipating some more changes. I'll be back in a few minutes. Well, just a little further, about 1 inch now. And the cedar notes are a little sweeter, a little more noticeable, a little more in the normal range of what you expect to get out of some sweet cedar. There are still those hints and a little more of them now of the cocoa, but there's a little mix of cocoa in with the sweet cedar. The coffee is still quite good, prominent but not overbearing. Nothing else has really changed. Finish is the same. So at this point, the headline of the 1 inch point is there is more sweetness and more obvious notes of cedar. You do have a little mix of cocoa with them also, and that would be this segment, and I'll be right back. Well, let's see here, estimating about 1.5 inches in now. And the earthy notes are not quite as overbearing at this point. They started to decrease in the last segment, which really is nice for me. I don't really care for a lot of earthiness. A lot of you do, okay? So you're going to have a lot of that through the first inch and a quarter. And then it's decreased so far at this cigar. Coffee notes still very good. Cedar, cocoa. I can now say there is a mix of sweet cedar and cocoa. And the pepper remains very good. A lot of lingering pepper. I'm getting a lot of lingering pepper on the finish. It's not an excessive amount, but it's nice and it lasts. That part of the finish lasts. The finish overall seems to be lengthening somewhat. Nice cream notes. So that's where we are. I'll point out to you this. Look at that ash. Very tight, very light in color, no splintering, shows no signs of wanting to drop off anytime soon because it's still directly the same direction as the normal cigar. It's not drooping, if you will. So worth pointing out. I like that. It's a well-made cigar. So that's where we are now. Decreased earthiness, increased sweetness in the cedar and the nut and the cocoa. Very nice. Oh, I would call the cigar really it hasn't gotten beyond medium-bodied. It is moving toward a medium to full range, but not quite there yet. I've got about 1.5 inches left. The ash did fall off finally. Of course, it fell in my lap. And it was right at about 1.75 inches long. And so it's quite tight. The earthiness continues to be held at bay. It's still noticeable, but very much subtle at this point. The other flavors are very close to balance. The coffee notes, the cedar, and the cocoa are very close to balanced. Pepper remains very good, consistent at a 7, maybe up to an 8, but somewhere in that range, 7 to 8. And finish is unchanged. The band has been removed, as you can see. I would call the cigar now very close to full-bodied. It has really jumped from the last segment to now. It's been quite a bit of time there between the last segment and this one. So it's pretty much full-bodied now, and that's a major step. So that's where we are. Don't know about how many more changes we'll have, but I'll be back if there are any. If not, I'll see you at the end. Well, I'm pretty much at the end, so I'm going to wrap it up. For a Maduro cigar, the coffee notes are not overpowering in this cigar. They are quite noticeable, but they are not what I would call prominent. They are probably just a little secondary to the cedar after it finally got going, and the cocoa notes. There is some sweetness there, not a lot, but there is some. A little earthiness. As you remember, it started out with quite a bit of earthiness and it tailed off here at the 2-inch point, we'll say, and it became quite nice. The pepper remained very good. The finish was nice, a lot of lingering black pepper, and cigar ended up very full-bodied, very nice and full-bodied. You really feel it from the last segment to now. You can feel the full-bodiedness, you can feel the Ligero. So cigar burned very well, no problems there. And nothing really negative to say. I would have liked to have seen a little more sweetness and richness in that cedar and cocoa, but didn't have it. So for me, that held the score down just a little. Very good cigar though. The aging room cigars are showing to be very good. I have one other to review later, which should be a little more, it's a natural, but should be a little more on the full bodied range. A little twist on the M356 version. All in all, this cigar for me scores out at a 92. Very good cigar. I really thought the M356 was a little better. That's just my preference. But very good cigar, 92, very good score. So there you have it. The Aging Room Maduro Rondo 92.